Shishir Hattangadi joins us from Ahmedabad. Shishir, now for the first time in this series, India can perhaps afford to pat themselves on the back. The job's not done, okay, agreed. But for 2 days in a row, they've played really hard, pulsating test cricket. This was test cricket at its best.
Yes, Digvijay, and the fact is that you had two batsmen in Pujara and Ajinkya who were seemingly not in rhythm. I won't say out of form, because on pitches like these, it's not about form, it's about luck and rhythm that can allow you to get those runs on the board, and they didn't seem to have it till this innings, and that's why we were skeptical, because of the low scores that we've managed in the three test innings that we have played. So this comes as a welcome change for Indian batting, and the fact that two players who were seemingly out of touch, I again repeat, not form, out of touch, have managed to salvage a situation and given a foot in the door, so to speak, for India to sort of barge in if they can bat well in the first session tomorrow.
You'll agree, Shishir, that on this wicket, which was spiteful, we saw a batting masterclass, especially in that last session from the two men who weren't exactly in form, as you were saying?
Well, if my eyes don't let me down, I can just make a small observation, Digvijay. I think the pitch may have slowed down a bit. I know India has batted well, but if you look at the session of or the passage of play, even in the morning, look at the wickets that fell. Stark played, a hoik to cow corner and got out. Wade played across the line. There was nothing that was going to bat pad or silly point, where the ball sort of bit off the surface, and we could blame the surface. So I have a sense that the wicket has slowed down. So that would have helped, and the fact that, of course, these two players know how to bat on such wickets, and today was a day that they were able to express themselves with a resilient, stubborn, obstinate kind of performance that you want to see in Test cricket. The fact is that we are 127 ahead. I'd like to see at least 250 on the board for Australia to get to be in a comfortable zone, so to speak, to make a match out of it. I think where Steve Smith may have missed a trick is he gave the Indian batsmen an opportunity to settle down with the new ball. This is a typical Ranji Trophy wicket, the third day kind of pitch where you could have started with spinners, because they are the ones who've got you wickets. The Lions and the other boy, the left arm spinner. I can't get his name. Sorry, but these are the bowlers who sort of managed to get you victories and pick up wickets. So I think there could have been a missed trick there in the bag of Steve Smith, not to start with the spinners. He could have done that and then gone back to the medium paces in case wickets didn't.
Yeah, Shishir, I'm just going to bring up some numbers, and I'm going to ask my producer to play these numbers. These are numbers of Cheteshwar Pujara in this innings. The way he mastered the conditions was phenomenal. In a sense, it takes more than just technique to deliver on a wicket like this. The concentration too has to be phenomenal.
Concentration, and also a desire to look for runs on this pitch, on a pitch like these or pitches like these. You can't go with a mindset that I'm going to stay there. You have to look for rotating strike, and that is what he does so well. Pity that we lost Virat to a kind of dubious decision. It wasn't very clear whether the third umpire had seen what happened, but whatever the case, I think Cheteshwar showed us that this is the way to bat on a pitch like this. And somebody who's lucky has to
Shishir, just as you're talking about Cheteshwar Pujara, we have his wagon wheel up on screen.
Yes.
I just want to draw your attention to that wagon wheel, because 32 on the offside, 47 on the onside. The way India crumbled in the 3 innings before this, you thought in a sense that they had forgotten how to play spin. But perhaps, as that package also said, in Pujara and in Rahane, they had two batsmen most technically accomplished to handle this, the way the Australians bowled, and also the way the wicket was throwing stuff at them. Some were shooting along the carpet, some were actually bouncing, some were turning.
Absolutely, but you know, Digvijay, we'll all know that it's cricket, batting like life is all about rhythm, and while we know that most of the batsmen are capable and competent enough to play Test cricket and score runs, you know, the past three innings haven't given them enough confidence that you know they can play a long innings because of the way they've got out, and especially Ajinkya in the last innings, you know, almost got run out. I mean, he wasn't stumped, so you know there is a dent in confidence when you get out clumsily in your past innings, and you need to sort of build from there and you know wipe it off and go on and play a sensible kind of innings. And given that you have the luck to do it, I think it's important to capitalize. So if you look at Cheteshwar's wagon wheel, from what I hear, he's trying to play the off spinner between mid-on and mid-wicket, and the left-arm spinner between mid-off and extra cover. And of course, when he gets it short, he cuts. So he's playing with the spin, he's playing down the line, and that is something that, you know, a quintessential Test player does. He plays within his range of shots, and he doesn't try anything funny. The fact is, I mean, Cheteshwar is probably India's most competent number 3, and he hasn't had luck. But today, what we saw, he had a dash of luck when Smith dropped him at slip. But after that, you know, he must have realized, and good batsmen realize that, you know, you've got to pay make the opposition pay very heavily if they let you off. And today was one day that he did it, and we are so happy that the batting is sort of come of age now, because this will give them a lot of confidence, you know,
Yes.
going forward in the series too, because three innings where you haven't scored 200 odd runs, it can dent any batting team's confidence.
Yes, but one person, you know, even while we are talking of Pujara, Rahane and the way they mastered the conditions in that final session, one person who seems to have mastered what the Australians are throwing at him is KL Rahul. You know, I'm going to bring up some numbers of KL Rahul. Shishir, third half century in this series when the rest aren't getting runs, you know, he's getting the runs for India at the top of the innings. And what was important today, when you went in 87 behind, was the intent. You know, he went in there, looked to play his shots, and quickly got to around 50. He got out after that, but he had set the tone.
Yeah, beautiful hands. You know, Digvijay, when he went off Test cricket because of injury, I was a little worried, and like most Indian cricket lovers, that would he be able to find his rhythm soon? Because you know, when you have a break from international cricket, it takes a while to come back into the flow of things. But he's managed to do that well. And in this series, what we've seen is he's batted like again a top class opening Test opening batsman. He's used his hands well. He's had soft hands when the ball's done something, and he's caressed the ball. You know, as opening batsman, you don't need to hit it hard. You just find the sweet part of the bat, and you're in for runs because of the gaps that are there early on in the innings. And that's something that, you know, it gives you a lot of confidence, especially with Murali Vijay unfit, with a new opener in Mukund who's come in after a while into Test cricket. You need somebody at the top of the order who can manage and who can sort of take the burden of the opposition, you know, what the opposition throws at you.
Yes.
So that to me has been, you know, a plus in terms of India's performance, not only in this Test, but even in the last Test match.
But Shishir, while we're talking of the pluses, we have to talk about the big negative in a sense. You know, nothing going right for the Indian skipper. The situation in a sense was tailor-made for him to go out there and get a defining, you know, series-defining innings like the way Steven Smith got in Pune. This is one of the worst series he's ever had in his career. This is the lowest average. He's averaging just 10. Is he too eager? Is he trying to dominate too early? What does the cricketer in you say?
It tells me there's a circle of life. You know, as they say, gladness after sorrow and sunshine after rain. Nobody has escaped this, Digvijay, and you know this. You're a journalist, but you're a sports follower, so you will know that when you go up, you create a level of expectancy amongst your followers, fans, your teammates, that you're something special and you're going to deliver more and more, and as you play on. But this is a rut that, you know, he will find that he gets the odd bad decision or unlucky decision, if I may put it. He'll get the odd great catch. He'll probably get the odd run out, and you know, things just don't seem to go right for you, even though as a batsman, you know, you're playing well or hitting the ball well. But it's a matter of time. You know, this is something that I was expecting, and this was a question I was expecting too from you, because when you set such high standards as a batsman, and you know, you're obviously going to you know, raise the level of people wanting to expect more from you. And him sort of going through a leanish trot, I'm saying leanish because it's 3 innings, but is something that we are not used to as Indian cricket lovers. But as a cricketer or a sportsman, I can tell you, there's no denying that everyone will have to go through it, however good, because if you look at the greatest players in the world, they've averaged 60, so their failure rate is 40. So that's a fair assumption that, you know, you fail 40 times for every 60 times that you do well.
Absolutely. But one thing Virat Kohli needs to master, we'll forget the form for a bit, but one thing he needs to perhaps master is the use of DRS. Thank you, Shishir Hattangadi. As you said, let's see what India can do in that morning session. If they can stretch that lead to 200, 225, the Australians for once will be sweating. Thank you once again, Shish, for joining us.